So on one of my trips to Paris, France around 2014, 2015, I was visiting the department store Printemps, and there I discovered a collection of fragrances called Berdoues. I felt like the fragrances were great quality for the price point for niche fragrances. Fast forward a couple of years at Aix-en-Provence, I met up with one of the associates of Berdoues, and I shot a video with Pauline where you can learn about the brand. If you are curious, please click the link in the info box and you'll discover the brand from Pauline. And I felt like I never really covered the brand, and I wanted to, have you guys explore the brand a little further. And since the holidays are around the corner and these are such great fragrances for the price point, I felt like let's put together a video together of the three of the more masculine offerings from this house and let you know all about it. So in this Saffron review video, I'm going to talk to you about OUD Al Sahraaa, this one right here, HOJA De Cuba, this one right here, and also RUSSKAYA KOZHA, this one right here. So if you want to find out about these three fragrances from the house of Berdoues and have a chance at winning a full bottle of your choice of one of these three fragrances, if you are a subscriber of the channel from the USA, then please stay tuned. Thanks so much for tuning in. This is Sebastian with Smelling Great Fragrance Reviews. If this is your first time tuning into the channel and you love watching fragrance reviews, finding out about new fragrances, discovering new brands, and of course participating in giveaways and still haven't subscribed, please click the subscribe button below and also click the bell so that you'll be notified for future videos and giveaways. So yeah, I always go shopping for fragrances when I'm traveling, especially in Paris or London or somewhere that I know that they have a lot of different perfume options. And around the 2014-2015 is when I discovered Berdoues, and then I learned that they are represented by the distributor Americas, and they are sold here in the States as well. And then that's how I got to meet with Pauline at Aix-en-Provence like almost 4 years ago. So I reached out to Berdoues distributor and I asked for these three fragrances. I felt like, you know what, you guys should know about these fragrances. These are great fragrances, especially for those of you that are probably beginners with niche perfumery, because I feel like these are very, very accessible by everyone, and they focus on certain notes, so they're very easy. Like if you want a oud, which is what we're covering here, you can select the OUD Al Sahraaa. If you want a tobacco, you can go with the HOJA De Cuba, and then of course if you want a leather, you can go with the RUSSKAYA KOZHA. So I specifically requested these fragrances from them. The opinion's all my own, but I had sampled these fragrances in the past and I enjoy them for what they are. These are $88 per bottle, a 100 ml bottle. And on the boxes it says, the spirit of cologne, the intensity of Eau De Parfum. So the spirit of the fragrances are more like a cologne that you're used to, but the intensity is Eau De Parfum, and I feel like that's exactly correct with what they say. So if you're curious to discover these further, they are sold at Sephora or places like Beauty Habit, Twisted Lily, Tiger Lily. So, and they make great gifts actually as well, because they are under $100 for niche fragrances. So if you have someone in your life that has an interest in oud fragrances, this OUD Al Sahraaa would be a great one. If you have someone in your life that likes tobacco fragrances, the HOJA De Cuba would be a great one. And then of course the RUSSKAYA KOZHA is perfect for the leather fragrance lover. These are fragrances that are targeted unisex, but I feel like these are more masculine, but I feel like anybody that wants to wear them is fine wearing whatever they want. So let's talk a little bit about the OUD Al Sahraaa. This is it right here. Again, it's a 100 ml bottle, $88. With this one you've got at the top Mandarin, you got at the heart Myrrh, and in the base you've got oud wood. And for me this one is a very resinous Myrrh prominent oud experience. The Myrrh I feel like it sweetens up the fragrance along with the Mandarin, but for me the Mandarin is very light as far as like the other notes go. But for me, if you like a balsamic, more resinous kind of a oudy experience, this would be it right here. I think the Myrrh also sweetens up the oud as well, and it makes for a great wearing experience, and I feel like this is a great one for both sexes, unisex, a little masculine leaning, but definitely unisex, and I think it's great to wear in the fall or winter time for one of those oud fragrances that's not overly animalic, it's not overly this or that, it's very, very balanced and an easy, more accessible kind of an oud fragrance. So OUD Al Sahraaa is definitely one for you to try. Now on the packaging it does say a sensual, elegant perfume, and this is an oriental woody fragrance, and it's definitely exactly that. So check it out. OUD AL SAHRAA is the one that I recommend from this house as far as a masculine offering goes. The next one I'm going to talk to you about is HOJA De Cuba, this one right here, and I love tobacco fragrances. And here we don't have a burned tobacco, an ashy tobacco, we have a fresh tobacco. For me, this one is going into like an aromatic oriental direction. The tobacco in here is more herbal, and it gives you that aromatic experience rather than when it's burned you get the ashy experience. So this one has allspice at the top. In the heart you've got vetiver, in the base tobacco, just like with the oud one where the mandarin orange is very subtle. This one, the vetiver, is more on the subtle side. For me, what's driving the fragrance is the allspice. It's very spicy, and with the tobacco, again, the tobacco is a fresh tobacco, so you get a fresh spicy experience with this one. It's a very woody and aromatic experience. There are lots of green touches in here as well, and I feel like the tobacco with a little bit of that vetiver acts very green in here as well. If you like a fresh spicy experience, if you like a woody aromatic experience, definitely this one. And for this one on the packaging it says a warm and tobacco laced perfume, and again it's an oriental fragrance or aromatic woody style of fragrance, and it's exactly that. So if you're into the fresh spicy tobacco fragrances rather than the more burned and ashy ones, definitely check out HOJA De Cuba from the House of Berdoues. Again, this is a 100 ml bottle and it's $88. Third one we're going to talk to you about is RUSSKAYA KOZHA, this one right here. I feel like out of all three of these, this is my favorite. For some odd reason, this one's just doing it for me. And I really love leather fragrances. And of course, there's a reason why I picked these three, because I like these three styles. And this house focuses on a specific note. And here, again, as I mentioned, this is the leather. And previously we had the tobacco. And we started off with the oud. And I like all three of those styles of fragrances. But after testing and wearing these three fragrances, my favorite happens to be the RUSSKAYA KOZHA. And guess what note is in here? There's benzoin in here. And I love that note. And together with the leather, it's a match made in heaven for me with this fragrance experience. So with this one, you've got at the top cardamom, you've got benzoin, and then you've got Cade. And I feel like this one is overruling, the benzoin is overruling the fragrance, and that benzoin is sweet and vanillic. And with that kind of a darker, more slightly animalic experience of the leather, it balances out the leather where you get the leather roundness around the benzoin, but it doesn't kind of like scream animalic or very intense and pungent, if that makes sense. That benzoin definitely does wonders with this one. And if you have a problem with leather fragrances, more on the animalic side, more on the intense and pungent side, definitely check out RUSSKAYA KOZHA. I think you're gonna like it if you like resinous and balsamic fragrances. And this one acts very, very warm and spicy to me. There are aromatic touches with this one, of course, with that cardamom note, but it's very, very balsamic from that benzoin. Love the benzoin note. And if you're curious to learn more about benzoin, I do have a video on balsams and resins with Dana. I'm sure you've watched that before, and you'll learn a little more about what benzoin is. Now with this one on the packaging, it says an elegant and distinguished cologne, and this is certainly a leather fragrance, a leather style, or I think you can also go in the direction of oriental leather because of the benzoin note in here. Great, great fragrance here. I love this one. All three of these I feel like are perfect for fall and winter, with the HOJA De Cuba being the more universal one where you can get away with like warmer weather times of the year. But I feel like the more stronger one is the RUSSKAYA KOZHA, and then a little lighter than that is the oud one. Even though the oud tends to go more darker and more stronger, I felt like this one was the most heftiest out of the three fragrances. Anyway, those are my thoughts on these three fragrances from this house. If you're curious to learn more about them, check them out online. And as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, we have a full bottle giveaway of one of these fragrances of your choice. USA giveaway only, guys. Click the link to Sephora in the info box. Head over there and find out how you can participate to win yourself a bottle of one of these fragrances. And then come back here and let me know your thoughts on this House Berdoues. Have you sampled these fragrances? Are you curious about them? Did you ever watch that video I put out years ago with Pauline explaining the house? Let me know. Put some comments down. Other than that, guys, please like this video. Please share it. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And I'll be back with more videos very soon. Have a good one. Goodbye.